The one and only Suze Orman, who is premiering on HSN at 8 p.m. tonight with her Money Tools Kit. Suze, thank you so much for joining us and answering some. Welcome to HSN. So we'll just get started with a couple that I saw earlier on Twitter. First, someone wants to know, should you invest in an emergency fund or pay off debt first?
Are you kidding me? Listen, everybody, debt is bondage. You are never going to have financial freedom if you are in bondage. Also, if you have credit card debt, chances are your interest rate is at what? 9, 10, 18, 23, 29%. What are you having in an emergency fund? Are you kidding? Maybe they're paying you 0% on that money. So first, get out of credit card debt. Leave your credit cards open, however. Now you're out of credit card debt. Once you're out of debt, start saving your emergency fund. And if God forbid anything goes wrong before you have the emergency fund, you have the credit cards that you can use again if you need to.
Great advice. So the next question is, can I set up a Roth IRA on my own? And if not, what company would you recommend I go with?
Well, when you say, can you set up a Roth IRA on your own? Yes, you are the one who has to set up a Roth IRA. The best place to set up a Roth IRA is at a discount brokerage firm, such as TD Ameritrade, Fidelity, Schwab, any of those. Or you could do it directly with a mutual fund company such as Vanguard. So it just depends what you want to invest in. If you're only going to invest in mutual funds, and the only type of mutual fund you should ever invest in is a no-load mutual fund, one that you do not pay commission on. People, you don't need a financial advisor to give you a mutual fund. Then just do it at Vanguard.
Okay. Which is a smarter investment right now, a traditional 401k or a Roth?
Absolutely. Well, is it a Roth 401k or a traditional 401k? Is that the question?
Yes.
So you absolutely want to do, in my opinion, a Roth 401k over a traditional 401k. Why? Are you kidding me? You put money in a traditional 401k with money you've never paid taxes on. That's nice. Now you leave it in there, it grows. That's nice. But now you go to take the money out 10, 20, 30 years from now, and now you pay taxes on whatever you take out is ordinary income at whatever tax bracket there is at that time. That's not so nice. Why don't you be intelligent with your money? You know what your tax brackets are today. They're not that high. Do you really think that we're going to stay in these tax brackets with the deficits that we have? Don't you think 20 years from now you're going to be in a higher tax bracket? So pay the taxes on the money today. Contribute to a Roth 401k today. Let the money grow tax-free. Later on in life when you take it out tax-free. That's even nicer. That's what you should do.
Great. So we have a question from Periscope from Sean. He says he has huge IRS debt and he's just wondering where he should start.
Sean, listen to me. If you have $25,000 or less in IRS debt, then you can go online and even with the IRS work out a payment plan with them. If you have more than $25,000 of debt that you owe the IRS, you got to be very careful here, boyfriend, because if that's the truth, they can seize your checking accounts, your savings accounts, garnish your wages. That's when you need a lawyer to strike a deal with the IRS for you. But you absolutely need to make sure that you handle it. But if I were also you, before you handle it, make sure you have different money in different accounts, or even keep some cash outside of accounts because they can seize your accounts anytime they want.
Interesting. So another question from Twitter. What is the best type of life insurance policy? Term, whole life, or universal life?
Are you kidding me? Where have you people been? Have you not been watching the Suze Orman show when it was on the air for 14 years? The biggest ripoff, again, in my opinion, when it comes to insurance, is whole life, universal life, or variable life insurance. Insurance was never meant to be a permanent need. It was only meant to be there during your younger years, so if something happened to you, you would have money to leave to those who are dependent upon you before you had time to build up your assets. Whole life insurance can be 10 times more expensive than term insurance. The best insurance policy, in my opinion, for all of you to purchase is a term insurance policy. Term is good for a specific period of time. The best place to get quotes for term insurance is Select quote.com. They have been doing it now for over 30 years. They were the first company to give quotes. They will give you quotes from 5 companies, 6 companies. You just choose the cheapest one, and that's what you should do.
Fantastic. So another question from Twitter. I just received an inheritance. I have a mortgage but no other debt. What is the smartest way to use this money?
Well, the first thing I have to say to you when you receive an inheritance is keep it in your individual name. Let's just say you're married. They didn't say they were married or not, but let's say you're married. If you put that inheritance in a joint account with your spouse's name on it, that inheritance now, your inheritance, is now your spouse's inheritance as well. You divorce a few years later, there goes half your money. So any money that you ever get, no matter who you are, from an inheritance, keep it in your individual name, number 1. Number 2, is your house in your individual name? Because let's say you have a house and it's in joint name with your spouse and you use your inheritance to pay off a joint debt, and then something goes wrong, you lost half your inheritance. So if this person is not in a relationship, they have gotten money via an inheritance, and they want to pay off their house debt that's in their name with it, go for it. As long as they are going to keep that house for possibly the rest of their life. If they're going to sell their house in the next few years, do not use it to pay off the mortgage.
Good call out. So this is a question from June on Facebook. She wants to know, what's your best advice to newlyweds in their mid-20s?
Oh, if you're newlyweds, that means you've gotten married. And M doesn't just stand for marriage, it also stands for money. So my best advice for all of you is to understand the one that makes the most money doesn't mean that they have the most power. You really have to come to an agreement on what to spend money on, how much to save. Do you give gifts at the holiday seasons? Do you not? Do you want to save for yourself even before you save for your children that hopefully maybe one day you'll have? So the best advice I could have to give to newlyweds is be honest with each other. Because the number 1 reason for divorce in the United States today is arguments over money. And 1 out of 2 newlyweds end up in a divorce. So start talking about money with each other. Never talk to each other about money. With each other.
So this is a question from someone age 65 with a pension and Social Security funds. Her name is Barbara. And she's wondering, should we pay out a home equity loan with available money from annuity?
What is her question?
Should we pay out a home equity?
So should she pay off? She has a home equity
Yeah.
line and she wants to pay it off with money from an annuity.
Yes, ma'am.
It depends. Remember, there are all different kinds of annuities that are out there. And if the money that's in an annuity, you can withdraw it without any surrender charges and no tax circumstances or, where they're going to tax you on it, and you have this home equity line of credit, yeah, I would pay it off because interest rates eventually have to go up. A home equity line of credit is a variable interest rate. Eventually, the interest rate on the home equity line will go up. So why not get rid of your debt? Remember, debt is bondage. I want all of you to have financial freedom, and you will never have financial freedom if you have bondage, and debt is bondage. Yeah, get rid of that debt, girlfriend.
Another question from Periscope. I have a friend who's in her 50s and she's getting divorced. She has no credit. What is the best way for her to build her credit?
Well, the best way for her to build her credit is to, number 1, give herself credit that she can stand on her own 2 feet. Don't spend your time feeling bad that you lost something that you wanted. So you have to give yourself self-worth. Remember, self-worth equates to net worth. And so many times when women especially just get divorced, they just go around and they mope and they're depressed and they make all these mistakes. The best way to start building credit is very easy. You get a credit card in your own name. If you don't qualify for a credit card in your own name, get a secured credit card. There are many of them out there. Get one at a credit union. You'll put $500 on the account. They'll give you a secured credit card. You'll use the credit card, and that will start to build your credit.
Okay, we have one more question that we'll take in this session. Another person that's starting over, they've never worked. Do they go back to school or start from the bottom?
So don't go back to school. It costs money to go back to school. Are you kidding me? People go back to school to postpone the inevitable, which is to get a job. If you're young, you've just graduated high school and now you're going to college and now maybe graduate school, all right. But the answer to your problems isn't to go back to school. How are you going to pay to go back to school? Oh, student loan debt. Oh, that's great. Student loan not be discharged in bankruptcy. So start from the bottom. Work your way up. And here's the key. Make those that you are dependent on a paycheck for dependent upon you. When you can do that, you are in the driver's seat.
Thank you so much, Suze, for taking some time to answer a few questions for us. And before we go, we have a little friend over here to your right.
I
Ganesh.
do.
You
You
want to tell us
know,
about that?
all of you, I don't know if you're aware of this, but at 8 o'clock tonight, East Coast time, I am premiering on HSN. And this little guy here, his name is Ganesh. He has been with me now for over 20 years. He's so cute, isn't he? You cannot buy him. So he's my little good luck charm. So he's been with me on every TV show I've ever done. You don't see him, though, because he's off to the side. But I want to see you at 8 o'clock tonight, because guess what? You're writing in about all these financial problems you have. One of you, will win $25,000 because we're having a sweepstakes. Obviously, we have a thing for you that you can purchase, the money tools that you probably each one of you needs, but you don't have to make a purchase. All you have to do is go to hsn.com and you can enter the sweepstakes, $25,000. If you do nothing else, do that. Bye.